Reverse dieting sounds ridiculous on surface level. Eating more food to control your weight instead of less? But it may not be quite as easily dismissed as you might expect. After all, it's true that many poorly planned dieting attempts to have led to nutritional deficiencies, unhealthy mood swings, and unwanted side effects. Reverse dieting focuses on gradually increasing your caloric intake, which at least sounds less extreme than eating cabbage for every meal or trying to survive exclusivity on meat. But can eating more really be beneficial? That's the question we're going to explore today on Health Tips. Before we dive deep into it, don't forget to like and subscribe to Health Tips for more informative videos like this. Make sure you comment "I subscribed" and we will personally reply to you. Now, let's ask, reverse dieting, does it work? First, we need to understand the logic behind reverse dieting and the methodology. Traditional diets involve cutting problem foods out of your diet and reducing your caloric intake, sometimes drastically. But as a side effect of your body, in an attempt to maintain stasis, may try its hardest to hold on to every calorie you consume. As a result, you could end up needing to hit lower and lower calorie totals just to maintain your weight. Of course, it should be mentioned quickly that this is mainly a problem with poorly planned diets. A proper diet will aim to reduce the number of calories consumed slowly over time, and will cut 1 or 2 problem foods out at a time instead of all of them. Good diets are gradual and careful. Quitting cold turkey might sound cool, but it's not how humans are designed. The idea of a reverse diet is to build your metabolism up slowly so that you can handle a higher number of calories per day. The goal is to increase your caloric intake by about 50 to 100 calories a day, every day, for anywhere from 4 to 10 weeks. Some bodybuilders use reverse dieting right after a competition to get themselves back up to a healthy metabolism after the painful crash diets that were necessary to get those washboard abs. Take note that there are some important prerequisites you need to meet before reverse dieting is worth your time. Ask yourself the following questions. Can you keep track of your caloric intake every day? Can you commit to eating about the same amount of food every day? Are you willing to include regular exercise, adjusting as needed? Is your BMI in a healthy enough range to actively take a risky approach? Will you be able to shift gears if it doesn't work for you? Reverse dieting is a fairly advanced approach that requires consistent upkeep and shouldn't be approached carelessly, so make sure you can answer yes to all of these questions before trying it. When you don't eat as much food as your body expects, it prepares to go into a starvation response. Your leptin levels, which control hunger, are thrown horribly out of whack, and your BMR, a score representing your metabolism, declines, reducing your available energy. Exercise becomes more difficult and less productive because you lack the energy to get through it. Worst of all, your digestion physically slows down in order to retain as many nutrients as possible because your body thinks it needs them. Luckily, this response does go both ways. By gradually eating more, you can encourage your body to go into adaptive thermogenesis. This has roughly the opposite effect of a starvation response. Instead of trying to hold on to each and every calorie, your body purposely wastes some of the calories you take in by producing excess heat. Digestion returns to normal, and you have more energy for physical activity. Of course, this is all assuming that the increase in calories is gradual and called for. Overeating or increased caloric intake when you're morbidly obese can lead to a suffocating lack of energy. There's a difference between tricking your body into thinking food is plentiful and tricking your body into going into hibernation. Then, well, who exactly can benefit from reverse dieting? Actually, the people most likely to benefit from a reverse diet are the same people who are already dieting. If you're at the absolute low point of your metabolism, then reverse dieting might just be what you need. But how do you know if you're at that point? The short answer is, it takes discipline. If you know that you're truly eating around 1,200 to 1,400 calories a day every day, and that isn't helping you, then you've probably bottomed out your metabolism. But you need to investigate every possible angle before coming to that conclusion. If your calorie counts are low on the days you measure, but you have a cheat day that you're not measuring, start counting calories on your cheat day and adding them to your average. Your body doesn't take a day off. If you haven't been including drinks in your calorie count, start including drinks. The calories in a couple of cans of soda each day can easily destroy an otherwise sound diet. If you occasionally sneak a snack and don't add it to the count, stop cheating. Every single calorie you eat is being counted by your body, so it needs to be counted by you. Most people who claim their calorie counts are that low are actually miscounting. It's unfortunate, but it's true. But if you've counted every single calorie that went into you and it's very low, but you're still not seeing results, then yes, you may have bottomed out your metabolism. At this point, you may ask, does reverse dieting work? The short answer is that scientists aren't completely sure yet because it's a relatively young area of study. While there is some evidence of successful results, it tends to be anecdotal. It does have merit as a concept though, since gradually increasing your calorie intake should help to normalize hormone levels and boost calorie burning in theory. While reverse dieting is lacking in direct studies, it's reasonable to think that it could increase the body's natural leptin levels and urge to move around throughout the day. But again, the bottom line is that science hasn't fully decided whether reverse dieting really has a place in your daily schedule or not. So while it might not hurt to try it once, provided you're not at a particularly unhealthy weight, it should be abandoned for more arduous and proven weight loss methods if you personally don't see any results. At HealthxTips, we strive to provide objective information, so now we're going to flip over and share with you the potential downsides of reverse dieting as well. First, it's hard. It sounds easy to just eat a little more a day, but in reality, it's hard to keep an accurate estimate of how many calories you're eating. One error in the math or forgotten snack can throw off the entire day. To reverse diet, you need to not only keep track of it, but also keep those numbers consistent, while adding on a very small number of calories each day. Planning all this can also be a very time-intensive process. You really need to have the time and energy to commit, and you're doing all that just to try out a dieting method that may or may not work for you. Reverse dieting also doesn't take into account the quality of the food you're eating. 1,500 calories of nutrient-rich foods like fish and vegetables is completely different from 1,500 calories of chocolate cake, but reverse dieting doesn't measure that difference properly. And of course, the biggest downside to reverse dieting is that it can actually lead to bad health habits if done poorly. After all, you're teaching yourself to eat more every single day. It should go without saying that a process like that can go horribly wrong, fast, since you may develop a harmful habit that you keep long after you stop counting calories. So, should you be reverse dieting? We discuss the maybes, the theories, and the risks. The big takeaway you might still be waiting for is whether we, here at HealthxTips, would be comfortable with recommending a reverse diet. To put it bluntly, not really. Yes, there are some possible upsides, but they lack the scientific evidence necessary for us to jump on the bandwagon. On top of that, our research has indicated that reverse dieting really requires constant communication with a professional nutritionist or a personal trainer for you to get the most out of it. Whether you like hearing it or not, most people don't have the time, patience, and math skills to adhere to such a tight margin for error. Besides, if you could afford a personal trainer or nutritionist to help you with a get-thin-quick scheme, wouldn't it make more sense to just ask them for a personalized routine designed exclusively for your needs? So while reverse dieting may hold some promise for a niche audience, we're ultimately going to give it a thumbs down for the general public. That said, this one won't kill you if you try it out, so it's certainly safer than a lot of media-push diets we've seen in the past. But our honest recommendation is to look for more tried and true methods that guarantee results in exchange for an unwavering commitment. Always consult with your medical doctor or nutritionist for personal professional advice before making any changes to your diet. And if you're still looking for other ways to lose a bit of weight, check out our 10 super simple and easy ways to lose a little weight video for extra useful tips. And as always, do remember, your health, your life, your priority. See you!